Okay, we've got to talk about the Nazca mummies. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I'll talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, so Gary Dolan went on Joe Rogan, swinging for the fences, talking about some really cool stuff, among which were the Nazca mummies. And he actually came out basically pro Nazca mummy, and he had some ideas about how to conduct the research. And I hope people are listening to that and are able to get the resources together to do what he thinks should be done. But he was only pro the human sized mummies. He was against the little guys. He says, just look at them. They don't look like they could have ever have been alive. Then he wasn't really even willing to consider them. Jesse Michaels in his documentary took the same line. He was willing to look at the human sized ones and came out favorably on the human sized ones like Maria and Montserrat and the others, but does not think the little guys were ever alive. That seems to be the common narrative going around, or the common way that people are allowing themselves to view the Nazca mummies. Enough of the research has, matriculated amongst the populace that they're now willing to look at the Nazca mummies, but they're not willing to quite go there, right? They're just like dipping their toe in the water with the human sized ones. They're not willing to look at the little guys. But we don't just have human sized ones. We have the little guys. We've got insectoid beings with wing like appendages. We have giants, like 9-foot tall giants. We only have their severed hands. And by the way, they're the oldest of the Nazca mummies. They're like 7,000 years old. But yeah, so we have a range of beings to look at here. Some of which were these little guys. So let's examine why these little guys are not constructs or dolls, ritual dolls or constructs, whatever people are trying to suggest that they are. Then, by the way, there may be some ritual dolls or constructs mixed in the lot, but we're not looking at those. We're looking at these specimens that have undergone essentially the same scrutiny that Maria and Montserrat have. We have their DICOMs, X-rays, CAT scans, all that kind of good stuff you can go find on the alienproject.com. Highly recommend it. So I'm going to share some images from the alienproject.com. What are we talking about? Well, here's Alberto. We have detailed images of Alberto and the others showing their complicated musculature, ligaments, fatty tissue, etc., proving that, yeah, they were once living beings. They've been studied. They are not assembled from a bunch of different parts. They are whole beings that are all connected in joints, ligaments, all that kind of stuff, all of one piece. Look at this complicated, physiology here. Again, we're looking at layers of tissues and stuff. They weren't like assembled, which is a very important note. There's so much to go over here. All right, let's look at this one here. This is from, by the way, this is from Josephina. Okay, Josephina. All right. So Josephina, a very interesting specimen. And she has this amazing implant. Multiple of them have implants. But let's see, let's go to the implant here. Yeah, there you can see the implant right there. The implant is fused to the bone, or the bone has grown around the implant, meaning these beings were alive when these implants were put in. If they were assembling these from human body parts or animal body parts, I doubt that would be the case. And again, just look at this complicated physiology, layers of tissue, all whole beings, not cobbled together from various parts. Not only that, but some of these beings were pregnant with eggs. And we have images from those eggs. Here's Louisa, another of these pregnant beings. And yeah, you can see all the various scans that are available. And you can see images of what is inside these eggs. Look at that. They're not like just stones or something, as some people were trying to suggest they were. And they're not turkey eggs or something like that. Those eggs don't correspond to any other known egg. So a debunker might say, well, maybe they're like, carved to resemble some weird alien egg. Well, no, because we actually have scans inside those eggs. They're not rocks. There is something in those eggs, a fetus, a larvae, whatever you want to call them. They were pregnant with these eggs, with these beings that are inside these eggs. Yeah, so they're not rocks. They're not turkey eggs. So just think about, somebody creating these out of body parts, or however, people think they might have done it. How does that make any sense? They were alive when the implants were put in. They've got eggs not known to science with something in them. They're all whole beings and not cobbled together. Complicated physiology, etc. Okay, but then we get to the other really interesting aspect of the little guys, and that's that they seem to still be here. This is the Siberian alien, which I've done videos before showing the shocking similarities between it and the little trigodactyls. It's got the little perforations on the side of its head, the little holes, and everything. And I'll let you watch those videos at your leisure, showing the comparisons. Again, the shocking comparisons between the Siberian alien and the Nazca mummies, the little Nazca mummies. And the Siberian alien in this video was only recently deceased, meaning if this is part of a population of beings that's still here and not flying around in UFOs, then they are still here. Now, maybe it did come from a UFO. We can't rule that possibility out. However, there are reports from locals in South America that have seen these little guys, as Pavel Ibarra relates.
And he also claims to have seen one in the 90s, but
Wow.
he claims that he saw one of the little ones, which is, for me, those little ones, I'm not sure they're real.
Well, that's the whole point of this video, is a lot of people aren't sure the little guys are real, but people are seeing them still today. Professor Simon also doesn't think the little guys are real, and he thinks the big ones are probably some cousin of man. Some if they're real, then obviously they must fit in the family tree somehow. They can't be crazy alien hybrid things or whatever they are, right? Trying to rationalize this and justify this in a way that would be acceptable to a conventional way of thinking. That's where people are right now. But that's not going to get us closer to understanding the mummies. Only looking at the human-sized ones is going to limit our ability to perceive what is actually going on with the Nazca mummies, that they are clearly hybrids of some sort. They were created beings. They're all tridactyl. They all have similar features in common, and yet they're wildly different. Different sizes, different reproductive systems. Yeah, clearly, they did not arrive at any natural evolutionary process. That wouldn't have happened. You wouldn't have egg-laying beings and beings that would have given a live birth in wildly different sizes if they were, naturally related to each other. But they must be related to each other in some way. Again, all tridactyl, all with kind of a similar look to them. So speaks to some sort of common DNA, perhaps, by whoever was whipping them up. What were they for? What was their purpose? What were they designed to do? I would like to start answering some of those questions, trying to understand who the Nazca mummies were. Why were they created? I would much rather look at those questions than have to ponder or, you rebut stuff about whether they were real or not. They were real. And I'm so glad that people are dipping their toes into it. And I totally get their skepticism and their caution in all of that. But I encourage them to go look at the research and the data that is available on the Nazca mummies, on the little guys. on the giants, on all of them, because only then are we going to see the totality of the picture of the Nazca mummies. It's a very complicated picture that raises so many questions that I think need answering. How can they all exist? How can they be related to each other and yet not related to each other? How could that have come to be? Well, I mean, I think it can only have come to be if somebody created them. But hey, if you have a different explanation, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, the little guys still seem to be alive. I talked to an author and researcher that interviewed many people in South America looking for legends and history, and he was encountering people that, said they were seeing these things coming and going from mountains. I've been hearing this basically ever since the Nazca mummy story came out, that indeed locals were still seeing the little guys, coming and going from caves in the mountains. They still seem to be here. And if the Siberian alien was real, then that speaks to possibly a global presence. Either that or they do have some sort of access to something like a UFO. Anyway, I love that people are digging for the truth and that they are now more open to the Nazca mummies than they ever have been. And I understand easing into all of this. I know it's a lot. I've been in this, pretty much since the beginning, but a lot of people haven't. So I understand all of that, but I encourage people to remain open to following the evidence wherever it leads, even if it's places you're not comfortable with, or even if it goes to little weird looking aliens. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts about all of this are in the comments below. Like and subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss anything. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really do appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.